Good afternoon to all the places that I am streaming. YouTube, my personal Facebook page, my business Facebook page, Tailor Made Training for You, um, my private group, For Imperfect Non-Judgmental People Only in memory of my mother, my YouTube channel, the No Judgment Zone. You are now Twitter, Twitch, all the places that I'm streaming. You are now in the No Judgment Zone with yours truly, Sean Taylor, discussing topics with no judgments, discussing topics with no judgments. Today's topic is the epitome of a mother. Um, it's pretty much dedicated to my mom, the first woman I ever fell in love with, truly, um, and wholeheartedly. Just want to talk about just how amazing she was as a mother. Um, just how hard she worked. She was the most hardest working person I've ever met. From the female perspective, she just her work ethic was one of those things that are just bar none. Um, I, yeah, I think that's what me and my brother really get our work ethics from. I mean, because one thing we noticed about our mom, she never, when we were growing up, she was not one of those women who were plotting schemes on guys or just collecting things from dudes. Um, the way we were raised and just just the strength of women that we were raised and we were surrounded by was pretty. It was pretty amazing. You know, um, my mom. I mean, man, I used to see her go to work early in the mornings. Um, you know, um, she was a worker, man. She was a worker, and you know, I applaud all women who are raising boys to become men all by themselves. It's a hard task. It's a hard task to um, raise someone when you may individually struggle on trying to understand what he's going to become when he becomes an adult as a man. You know, just raising a boy to be a man, dealing with a man as a younger woman. Um, really don't know the ins and out about a man, or you just trying to you kind of be like confuse yourself on men. Just the same differences. If I was trying to raise my daughter by myself when I don't know nothing about being a woman, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things to where um, we would have conversations. When I was a teenager, she said, "When you become a man, you're gonna struggle." And I mentioned this before on other podcasts and things of that nature. She used to tell me, how, when you become a man, you're going to struggle. She she gave me information on life that you can't learn in no college. You can't learn in high school. She just that there's certain information that you can't get from no university. You can't get from no PhD, no bachelor's, no associate's degree, no high school diploma. There that life school, that school on life, that starts at home. And one thing that I loved about her, not only her, um, my grandma Louise, my auntie Deborah. I mean, just the things that they taught us on life. And I wonder when I look at kids, I'm like, what they're do they even know what they're coming up against once they leave that house? Do they know what they're coming against once they get out in that world? Do they know that the world just looks at them as a number? Um, my mom to me was an epitome of a mother. She never, what I loved about her, and I found that just dealing with women as I gotten older, and just she was the epitome of a mother. She never she never painted a picture that she was this or that. She 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 never. My mom never sugarcoated her bullshit, if that makes any sense. She I had so much respect for her because I had so much respect for her because I never saw her use men. I never saw her talk down about men like I hear women do. You know, a man can go to school and have a degree, and that chick that's talking about men ain't even barely got a high school diploma, but she's talking about uh, or downplaying what he does for a living or whatever the case may be. When that dude has applied himself, when that dude he's standing on his own, he's doing his thing. A lot of things ain't good enough. What my mom said, she used to teach me all the time about what I love about her. She used to say, baby, um, your manhood has nothing to do with what's in your pocket. She said that's what foolish women are going to think. Your manhood has nothing to do with what you're driving, son. That's what foolish women are gonna make you think. Your manhood has nothing to do with whether you live in an apartment, a townhouse, or a house. That's what foolish women think. And she said, baby, you're gonna see and you're gonna live this life and you're gonna watch a lot of women get played because they chase things that are shiny and flashy. And I remember when I was younger, when I was 20, when I was in my 20s, man, I was flashy. I was flashy as hell. I was flashy in how I dressed, flashy in what I wore, flashy in jewelry, flashy in the cars I drove, the rims I had, the fog lights over the headlights. I mean, I was just flashy. And then as I got older and I continuously talked to my mom about life, I rarely would talk to her about, and remember she told my wife one time, you know, and my wife at the time was shocked. She said, my sons don't come to me and run to me about their problems with women. They don't do that. I don't know what's going on until after the fact that it's actually happened. And baby, you'll be long gone. It'll probably be a couple of years after because that's how I raised my boys. She said, I don't want my sons to be weak running to me with their problems. She said, weak men run to their mother about everything. My boys, they love me to death, but they not mama's boys. That one right there has kept me up at night. And she was talking about me. He wasn't no mama's boy. Mama's boys, mama's boys don't get in trouble. That one right there, he just always was getting into something. So, and she was right. I talked to my mother about just women in general, um, after the fact. Like, you talk about years after the fact. It's just, uh, problems and scenarios. And my mom never sugarcoated her BS. She never made me think that she was one of those mothers that never messed up, that never played games or whatever the case may be. And she used to tell me religiously, and I didn't think it was true until I started getting in adult relationships with women. She said, you may find in your whole entire lifetime maybe one or two women that are 100% candid about their bullshit. She said, but your mom, she said, baby, I ain't got no dog in your fight when it comes to mine. But I'm gonna hip you on game. And she said, let me tell you something. She said, no one run game, nobody on the planet can run game better than us. Nobody can play victim better than us. Nobody can do Nobody can tell life-changing lies better than us. Now, the information I'm going to give to you and expose you to, they're not going to like that. And she always told me, she said, baby, when anything goes south with you and somebody else, it's not because you didn't know the game, because I'm going to teach you everything about us. The only person that plays you in a situation with a female is yourself, because I'm going to give you all the answers to the test. By the time I'm done with you, son, you're going to have a PhD when it comes to us. So there's a lot that I know. And she said, here's the thing. She said, fall back on cool. She said, I'm going to teach you so many things about us. So when you find out these things, baby, don't don't say anything, because there's going to be an argument of the denial of the thing. It's going to be an argument of the denial of what you know. If you call them out on it, we don't like when you call us out on our BS. We don't like it. Just sit back on cool and just realize when you see when a person shows their hand, just realize that's the hand they showed you, believe it, and just move on. Now, if you want to continuously indulge in it because the sex is good or whatever the case may be, or she does some tricks on you, that's on you, Sean, at the end of the day. But no woman on this planet will ever be able to play you, because I'm giving you all the answers to the test. The only person that's playing yourself in the dynamics of that situation is you. But sit back on what you know and realize things what I've taught you about us, because it'll be rare for them to tell you the truth about themselves. Majority of women you meet, you're always going to hear victim stories. Check and true. The majority of stories you hear, we ain't never do anything wrong. Check and true. The majority of stories you hear, we ain't gonna tell you about the skeletons in our closet. Check and true. We're not gonna tell you about our body count. Knowing you, Sean, you don't want to know it anyway. Check and true. Now, I have had women that I was involved with that did discuss their body counts. I ain't asked, you know. I mean, I rather would not have found out, but I'm like, all right, okay. I wouldn't tell nobody that, but okay. I'm thinking that in my mind. I wouldn't tell, but I commended the women, the few that I can count on one hand, who was 100% transparent about their past, transparent about their bullshit, transparent about their body counts, just transparent about their mistakes. Those women are beautiful beyond their looks, because they're not painting a picture that, hey, I got this perfect halo over my head, I'm a perfect angel. And for women who have been 100% honest and transparent, those are the type of women who are phenomenal. I can count on one hand the women that have done that. And you can have some great conversations with people who are just open, who just open about their bullshit, and they're not trying to pretend to be something that they're not. Those women are just phenomenal women. But those women are very rare. My mother was the epitome of a mother, because she did the best she could with the resources she had. And as things got better, things got better. And when things was bad, things was bad. I mean, me and my brother, we never questioned it. We just rolled with the flow of things. It was always me, Lynn, and Gwen. Me, Lynn, and Gwen. Me, Lynn, and Gwen. Gwen is our mother. It was just, it was just that nucleus of us three. And so when she died in December 2018, that nucleus of us three was no longer there. That dynamic had been broken. And I struggle with Mother's Days, her birthday in February, December and Christmas, because those 2 days, those two parts of the year she loved. The day we buried her, the day she died. I struggle with that stuff year round. And I was talking to my therapist about that stuff today, and he's like, Sean, I know you done heard this a million times, but he said, Sean, the closer the relationship, the deeper the struggle. And he said, Sean, people who are not struggling with loss of somebody they had a very, very close relationship with, Sean, maybe that relationship wasn't as close as they may portray that it was. But Sean, she was your mom, she was your dad, she was your preacher, she was your therapist, she was your counselor, she was your doctor, she was your confidant, she was your lawyer, she was everything. So you're struggling with the death in so many multiple ways, because your mom was multidimensional things to you that some people don't have that dynamics with their mother. They don't have that type of relationship. And you and your mom had deep conversations about things. Y'all talk so much because my mom she loved to talk. My mom was long-winded, and we used to clown her about that. And what's funny, I find myself at times being long-winded, and I'm like, man, the things I clowned her about, I end up being long-winded just with her sometimes. I'm so long-winded sometimes I have to put myself on the time. It's like, okay, I'm only going to talk this long, and then boom, I'm gonna get off. But she was an incredible woman, man. And that woman worked all through having cancer till she couldn't do it anymore. Till we pretty much was like, okay, mom, we got you. We got you. Don't worry about nothing. We got you. Me and my brother, we formulated a plan, and we figured out who's gonna take care of this and take care of that. And me and my brother worked as a team on it. But I struggled without her because she was different than anything. She was different than any woman I've ever met. I've met a couple of people who reminded me of her, maybe one or two people, not a lot, that had that strong character, that had that strong woman thing about them. That they ran the house, they took care of things, they worked, they did this, and that's a superwoman. You know what I'm saying? But I always wanted my mom to be happy. I always struggled with some of the dudes that she would date. Um, Me being the oldest, I rarely liked anybody. It's just, I don't know if it was just me being the oldest or whatever the case may be. I mean, I just didn't. It was maybe I didn't like nobody. I didn't like nobody. I may have liked maybe one person or whatever, but um, I was real protective of my mother. Um, there was an instance one time that a dude, you know, he got kind of crazy with my mom, and I ended up beating the hell out the dude. I did. I mean, I waxed the bathroom with that dude. Blood was everywhere. And that day, I remember I remember my mom looking at me and she said, "You know what? I ain't telling you nothing else, because boy, son, you crazy. I ain't telling you nothing else. I ain't telling you nothing. If something happens, I'm gonna tell you after the fact." I mean, when it came to my mother, man, you know, that's why I tell dudes, man, if a woman just provoke you that bad, man, just get away from that chick, man. She ain't right for you. Because a woman of any common sense of logic, a woman who is a woman of class and sophistication, she's not going to provoke you and push you to that point anyway, brother. Because she don't want to see nothing happen to you, and a woman of class, a woman of standard and sophistication, she has boundaries within herself not to go so far with the guy. But some women, they, it's, it's crazy out there. But she was one of those women, man, who, why I talk about her so much, man, is just uh, everything that she taught me, man, and she was very non-judgmental. And so I tell people, man, it's especially around Mother's Day, and so many people I know who still have their mothers. One thing you don't want to do when it comes to your mom or your father, don't ever take your mom, or don't take your mom. I never had a dad, so I would have loved to if I'd have had out 100%, 20% of a father, I'd have been happy. Don't ever take people for granted. Don't ever take your mom for granted. She carried you for 9 months. She went through labor. She went through pain. She nursed you when you were sick. She was there with you more than anybody else. Um, Never take your mom for granted. Don't ever take your mom for granted, man. Um, Things happen. I heard a dude say this, and I thought it was pretty dope, and it's very true. when you start taking advantage and taking people for granted, it's funny how the relationship takes a turn. Things you know, perpetually just start to happen. And what that means is that relationship is on a topsy turvy because that person feels as if you're taking them for granted. You know what I'm saying? Never make a person feel, never make your mom feel as if everything else is more important than her. You know, and my mother, she kept that cancer away from me and my brother. She did. And I found out from my auntie Deborah the reason why she didn't tell you guys initially. She said, Sean, you was just opening your business, and your mom, she said she didn't want to be, and see, this is how awesome of a mother she was. She said, my auntie, and my auntie Deborah and my mom was very close. Them jokers had some secrets, man. But she said, Sean, she used to always tell me that I don't want to be a burden to my boys. I just don't want them to, because she said, I know how protected my boys are. They gonna stop what they're doing. They gonna change their whole life around to accommodate my needs. But that's the type of boys she raised. She raised us like that. She raised us not to be selfish and to be selfless and to, if you got it, you help the next person. You know, not looking for it back, not looking for pats on the back or whatever the case may be. But you help people if you got it, you help them. And sometimes you help people, they're not gonna truly thank you. They're not gonna truly remember the good things you did. You know, people have a tendency, you could do out of 100 things, you could do 95 things right. You could, no, excuse me, 98 things right and do 2 things wrong. That's all they're gonna remember is those 2 things you did right. Excuse me, the 2 things you did wrong and not the 98 things you done right. That's how people are. They stupid like that. And that's why I try to not take people for granted, man. Because in 2023, if you got any person in your camp that's good, don't take that person for granted in no capacity. Don't take that person for granted because people think in this era that they can find good people good people ain't just not falling out of the sky and falling in your lap. That's not how it is happening. It's not falling down like leaves falling out of off the tree in the fall. It's just not how that's happening. People are lovers of themselves in this day and age. People are very selfish. It's rare to run across somebody who's selfless. You're gonna run across a selfish person every day, but a selfless person is very rare. So if you got a rare commodity that's in your life, man, don't take them for granted. Quit putting things in front of people who are trying to be there for you. You know, because when you start taking people for granted, perpetually things will start to happen. Whatever dynamic of a relationship you're going to have, it's going to be on a downward spiral because that person's not stupid. They can sense that you're taking them for granted. Because if they're not a priority and nowhere in your life and everything is more important, you keep telling them this and this and this. Dude, listen, if that person can't make you a priority, you know, then show them how many options you got. You have to teach people how to treat you because, man, they just think, you know what? You got to be at an age where you ain't got to wait for a text or wait for a phone call, whatever the case may be. Listen, man, if that person called you, man, call that person the next day. If that person texts you, text them or whatever. I mean, you know, people can be in their feelings and act funny. One day that's going to come in your life, you're going to get so down, you're going to wish you had that one person who was there for you 10 toes down, who was there for you in spite of yourself, how difficult you are, the bad attitudes you have and things of that nature. When people be there for you in spite of how you are, in spite of how negative you are, in spite of your bad attitude, your temperament. I mean, and they still be there for you, how funny acting, you be moving funny style and stuff. How long you think that's gonna last? One day you're gonna wake up, you ain't gonna have nobody. You're gonna be thinking about that person who was 10 toes down for you throughout all your messed up mental stuff that you deal with. And you know how you know, men and women both got them. Like they got 7 personalities running through through Sunday, and you still trying to be there, still trying to be consistent with them and how you treat them and stuff, one day they're gonna wake up and realize, man, I had the best thing and I took it for granted. Yeah, it's your own fault. Sometimes people sabotage themselves. We all think that better's around the corner. We all think that we can have this and have that. That's not how this world is shaped up to be no more. The world is different. This ain't 1988. This ain't even 1998. The world is different right now. You're dealing with a lot of selfish people that will do anything for attention. Anything. One thing about my mom, I told her a couple of years ago before she died, I said, Mom, they don't make women like you no more. I said, Mom, if I have a woman that is even 40% of what you are, I would be happy. You know, my mom she was old school, she was traditional. She had the modern day thing in her, but it was 80% traditional, maybe 20% modern. And we're talking about not that crazy modern, but that just she had a little hipness and a little style, a little swag to her. You know what I'm saying? She liked to dress and and things of that nature. She kept herself together, man. She, everybody used, our sisters call her bougie and stuff. My cousins call, they would just nitpick at her. My mom was pretty much OCD too. Everything had to be in place, clean house. I mean, you walk into it looks like an exhibit. I mean, she was just one of those ladies, man. But I love the way she carried herself, man. She carried herself with sophistication and style. And that's how she wanted to go out. She wanted to go out in her funeral. She wanted to go out in style. All her requests was met. But the sacrifices she made for us, certain men she ended up dealing with and being with, abusive, one dude, and I didn't find out this until after my mom. I mean, the things my mom did when we was little to escape certain men, physically abusing, and she almost lost her life. I mean, several times. It's just a lot. And I never wanted to be those dudes, that she was with. But I've had a lot of failed relationships. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to sit up here and paint a picture that I was perfect and that I got it right. I've hurt women and women have hurt me. But I've hurt more women than more women. I've hurt more women than women have hurt me, and I'll be the first to admit that. So, but my mother. What I love about her is something that I rarely see today with women. My mom had a philosophy that a woman who has enough will and drive can get anything that she wants for herself. So she don't have to plot schemes on a dude. She don't have to, be getting dudes to fly her here and do all that crazy stuff, man. My mom told me one thing: bad things happen to greedy whores. She told me that. She told me that. She said, Sean, I've seen bad things happen to greedy whores. Bad things. When you do certain things, you plotting schemes on people, man, that's not what type of karma that you think is not. What type of karma you think is going to happen to you? What do you think that's going to come out of that? What do you think that you're going to get at the end of the day? All shit catches up with you at some point. It just ain't caught you yet. Take it from somebody who knows. I've seen some things. I've seen some bad things happen to women, man. But they've been doing bad shit. I mean, it catches up, man. It catches up. My mom used to always say, it's just best for a woman to just work, get her own shit, and she ain't got to worry about all that nonsense. But when you constantly trying to finesse guys and this and that and think that shit cool, that's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. You may lose your life in the process. I mean, it's just, I mean, it's not the move. I mean, do what you want. It's just not the smartest thing in the world to do. You know, hell, I can drive down the street and try to stop the car with my feet, but it ain't the brightest thing to do. I mean, but people gonna, you know, there are people in the world on men and women's side who's always gonna try to ice ski uphill with bullshit. And it is impossible, remotely impossible to ice ski uphill. But that's what bullshit is. Bullshit is nothing but people trying to ice ski uphill with bullshit and they trying to fool you with it. That shit comes back. Trust me, I have paid for every wrong thing, especially the ice skating uphill with bullshit. That's why I'm like, now people say you raw, you just say, I can't believe you say this or say that. I'm like, you want me to go back to ice skating with bullshit, with lies? Lies don't do nothing but hurt people. Lies don't do nothing but devastate people. Lies don't do nothing but crush people. You put people in bad states when you lie to them. So if I'm too harsh, I'll be too harsh. If I'm too wrong, I guess I'll be too wrong. Now, if I'm too up in your face with it, I guess I'll be too up in your face with it. But you're not going to go and get me to be what I used to be. That guy hurt a lot of people. A lot of people. Because he just didn't give a fuck. He just didn't care about, he didn't care who he hurt. I can't go back to being that dude. So now I got to just be straight up and true. Because you're not going to go to bed nice. Oh, he didn't tell me the truth. No, I was straight up honest with you. You ain't want to believe it. So I'm going to tell you the truth about, I don't care what it is. I don't care about its fitness. I don't care what it is. Don't ask me no questions. And you ain't got to worry about getting your feelings hurt, because I'm not going to lie to you to appease you. I'm not going to enable your sensitivity. That's your problem. Nobody ain't telling you the truth. And what you're doing, nobody's telling you the truth. That's why you ain't having no growth. Growth don't come through lies. Growth comes through truth. Growth comes through truth. There's things that surround truth. It's called accountability. There's other things that surround truth. That's called responsibility. There's another thing that surrounds the truth that's called ownership. Y'all don't want to take accountability for anything. You don't take responsibility for anything. You don't want to take ownership. You don't want to take ownership, responsibility, accountability for your bullshit, your mistakes, how you talk to people, how you treat people, how you don't get people closer, how you fuck over people, how you play victim and don't tell them the whole story, but you tell people 25% of it when there's still 75% of just out there in limbo right now. I ain't never heard my mama talk about down. I ain't never heard my mom talk down bad a man. My father was a piece of shit. I know he was. But that never came out of her mouth. Not once. Not once. To tell a kid for a child to hear a mother talk bad about their father in front of them, you know what that does to the mental psyche of that child. And when that child goes back to that father, I'm going to use 50 Cent as an example. I love what that brother said. He said he can believe what the hell you want to believe, but there's a flip side to that coin. And some people don't agree with 50 Cent. But one thing I like about 50 Cent, he just don't give a fuck. I love people who don't give a fuck about what other people think. Them my people. Because they ain't pretending. They ain't out here fraudulent. They ain't out here with that fugazi shit. They just being straight up and what. And y'all sensitive people can't deal with those people. because you're too used to being around people and associating with people and people in your camp that's just gas up with bullshit. And ain't none of all y'all lying to each other. Ain't nobody saying nothing about truth. If you my friend and you doing fucked up shit, I'm calling you out on it. If our friendship was on the line because I'm being honest with your old dud ass, then I guess we ain't gonna be friends no more, Negro. I mean, it's just not gonna happen. But the close friends I got that I can count on one hand, we don't sit up there and lie with each other. We call each other out. We have candid conversations, and we just deal with it as men. If you're a man or you're a woman, if you're a real man or real woman, supposedly, you should have no problem taking accountability, responsibility, ownership about your bullshit. And that's one thing I loved about my mom. She wasn't a mother who made us think this and that. She may have not told us everything, but when it came to that woman shit, oh, she was 100 grand with that. She was 100 grand with that. And that's why when the conversations me and my mother had, she used to call them open-minded conversations. And she used to tell me all the time, she said, babe, I want you to be open-minded. She said, a closed-minded person is the worst person to have in your life on any scale. Because you just see things one way, just one way. And they like this. But an open-minded person is always like, you know what? Let me listen to their side, and then let me put myself in them shoes so I can be like, you know what? What if I was them? We never do that with each other. Men and women never do that, rarely do that with each other. If you got a woman who be like, you know what? Let me put myself in this dude's shoes for a change. And if you got a man's like, let me put myself in this woman's shoes for a change and see, man, that's some dope. That's dope. You got two people who really care enough about each other that they're putting each other in each other's shoes, so they're being open-minded to each other's situation. Just because we look at something the same and we have two different perspectives doesn't mean that she's wrong and I'm right, or I'm right and she's wrong. It just means that we're looking at a picture, but we see different things in that picture. We can always agree to disagree. But when you're closed-minded and no one can, and there's no compromise, there's no understanding, there's no reciprocity, there's no reciprocation, how is that dynamic's going to work? That just means you just got one person just walking over the other person. One person is taking the other person for granted and taking advantage of that person. That's all you have. If you're in a relationship with somebody and that person then lost their mom, their dad, their son, their brother, their sister, their friend, they done lost all these people. You may have lost one person, but you treat that person like they ain't went through shit. How that supposed to work? Ain't nobody confiding in them. Ain't nobody consoling them. No one's empathizing. Nobody don't give a fuck about them. Because everybody's just talking about your one loss. That person has lost 10 different people. And can barely grieve from one person to the next, one person to the next, and the person that he's supposed to be with, they ain't even being there for him. But they say they love him or they love her. Put yourself in that person's shoes so you can mentally think about what that person goes through, not only that day, but every damn day. Nobody thinks about that. Brother, she done lost 10 people, bro. 10. You lost one, and you act like your loss is bigger than hers. You shouldn't even have that type of damn attitude. You should have the attitude. You should be so empathetic and sympathetic to all her loss and be like, how is she even functioning and losing that many people? I'm going crazy over the one person I lost. That person has lost 10 people in 2 years. And you can't even think about her, bro. Sis, you can't even think about him because it's all about you. When you got people who have the all about you type attitude, That's another thing my mother used to tell me. She say, run for the hills. That's a selfish person. My mom, I would bring women to meet my mother. She would never say anything. Treat them with just as sweet. I mean, co-sign off of it. Nothing negative to say. Anything. If her sons was happy, she was happy. Now, if that bullshiggity shit don't work out, she says something after the fact, long after the fact, never during the process of you in it, never. And once it goes south, which it does, you're going through it. It's 6 months, 8 months, then pass by, almost a year passed by. You go have a conversation. See, what my mom, well, see, here's the thing about my mom. She knew me so well. She knew when I was going through something. I didn't have to literally tell her what I'm going through. She could see it. She could feel it because she knew her boys. I sit down. She's like, baby, let's talk. Let's talk. What you going through? What's going on? Talk to your moms. And I'll talk to her and she'd be like, you know what, baby? She'll look me in the face with that grin. She's like, I know that wasn't gonna work. I said, Mom, how you know? She said, baby. My mom had a thing. She said, you know how I knew that wasn't gonna work? I said, how, Mom? She said, you know how I know how much a woman loves a man? By how she looks at him. She said, when she looks at him like he's the only man on the planet, ain't nothing you can tell her about her dude. She said, the way that woman, first of all, is she ain't looking at you at all. She's like, I know that ain't gonna last. She said, one thing about you and a mouthy woman, Sean, would never work. You and a woman with a mouth, y'all would never work. And my mom told me that at 15 years old. I was like, I would, I like girls at 15, but I'm like, she said, Sean, because of your persona, your personality, you ain't gonna work right with somebody confrontational. You the type of person. You don't bother people. You don't mess with people. You don't go looking for trouble. You don't go starting trouble. You don't start fights. You don't go starting up nothing. But when it comes to you and your back gets against the wall, that's bad for the person on the other side. Because you didn't come looking for it. They brought trouble to you. Now they're going to find trouble in return because they came to you with it. You're not the type of person, Sean, that comes home and just starts stuff. That ain't even you, son. I raised you. I know how you are. You the same person you was as a kid as far as your persona, your demeanor. When you want to talk, you're going to talk. When you quiet, you quiet. Nobody can make you talk when you don't want to. You do not like to be forced to talk. That's the number one mistake, Sean, that women make with men. They try to force him to talk. You don't force nobody to do nothing that they don't want to. When you forcing somebody to do something, now you pissing them off. Now you making them angry. Now because you're trying to get them to do what you want them to do. And that's not how that dynamic's supposed to work. That person needs to come to you in their own free will and accord. You hate when people try to make you talk. And you hate when people try to read your mind. She right, I do. I don't like when nobody trying to read my mind. So you thinking for me now? I can think for my damn self. I'm a man. What? No. I got a mama. You ain't gonna talk to me like I'm your kid. What? No, that ain't gonna work with me. That may have worked with Johnny, but that shit ain't working over here on Sean Avenue. It just don't work. I'm not even built like that. What I presented for you day one, that's who I am. So I'm not a simp. I'm not somebody who's passive. I'm not somebody who just lets you just walk. I'm not even built that way because my mother didn't even raise me like that. My mother used to always say, she used to tell her friends, I ain't raising no weak boys to be weak men. I'm going to apply that pressure on them because I know if I don't apply the pressure, when they get out in their world, they're going to break and they're going to fold. That's what happened to a lot of people when they get out, when they get from under the wings of home, their moms and dad, they get out in the world, they break and they fold. They can't deal with the struggle. They can't deal with trying to survive. There are things I went through. I lived in my car and my mom didn't even know it. Lived in my car for about 6-8 months. My mom didn't even know it. Lost everything. She didn't even know it. Was lying my ass off too. Yeah. Lost everything. Car repossessed. Lost my house. Just lost everything. Living out my car. That's all I had. Just living out of it. Taking bitch baths in gas stations. Mom didn't know. Nobody in my family knew. Because I just wasn't built. I wasn't the type of dude built that way that I'm going to just run to my family. I just wasn't built like that, man. Whatever bed that I made, I laid in it. That's how my mother raised me. She said, real men figure it out. They figure it out. But she said, when you got a real woman in your corner, a real woman ain't gonna let you go without nothing. She ain't gonna let you go without nothing. She said, real women don't abandon what they want. She used to teach me, my mom taught me all this. She said, baby, people abandon what they do not want. Do not believe what they say. She said, everybody abandons what they don't want. No one walks away from anything that they want. Nobody does. If y'all got a problem and y'all ain't have a whole bunch of problems, but when things get hard and a person walks away because things get difficult and challenging, my mom used to say, baby, if they walk away from you, you never had nothing in the first place. You never had nothing in the first place. You was a pit stop. You know, if people don't believe that, fellas, y'all need to believe that ain't your woman, bro. It's just your turn, homie. So don't get so overhyped and excited. It's just your turn, buddy. She your woman when she gets your last name. Now she your woman. It's just your turn right now. If it turns into her getting your last name, now she belongs to you. Right now, it's just your turn. It's your turn. Guy 20 or guy 75. It's just your turn, guy. You know, stop patting yourself on your back. It is just your turn. It ain't that serious. It's just your turn right now. Y'all don't want to hear that. Ladies ain't going to admit that. And it's okay. I'm not surprised about the things I see and how I hear women talk and blah, blah. My mom told me there's going to be days like this. But Sean, life is always about choices. You ain't got to deal with them type of heifers. You ain't got to deal with them. Leave the heifers that belong to the streets, to the community. Let them have them. Because a quality woman just gonna move different, talk different, love different, act different, fight different. She ain't gonna be a quitter. She ain't gonna be giving up. She ain't gonna be constantly talking about her trauma and everything that she's been through, blah, blah, blah. She ain't gonna be playing victim. She realized as long as you live this life, there's always gonna be life shit. There's always gonna be life stuff. Life is going to happen. Why? Because we're living life. Every day is going to be this. Monday is going to be this. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Every day is going to be something different. So there's always going to be life stuff. So we can't use that as an excuse. So my mother was an epitome of what a woman was. She was the epitome. And she was all about that truth. And she never condoned me or my brother's bullshit. Never. She wasn't that type of mother. You ain't gonna fuck over some woman and she gonna be standing up there trying to protect you. That's my son. You ain't gonna do that by my son. She gonna be like, no, you was wrong. Oh, she gonna be on that woman's side as a woman. Because my mom said, I'm not going to condone your fuck ups. I am not. You cheated on that chick, you get everything that comes with it. You treated that chick wrong, you get everything that comes with it. You dog that chick out, you get everything that comes with it. I'm not supporting that. My job is to love you. My job is not to support when you fuck over people, Sean. That came out of her mouth. And she never did. Women would call my mom, Miss Gwen, Sean did blah, 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 blah. She's like, listen, baby, that's my son, and I love him. Please don't think I'm condoning what he did. He was wrong, and I've already told him. He was wrong what he did to you. Oh, my mom went siding with me just because she carried me for 9 months. When you wrong, she was up in my face with it. And all I did is sit there and listen to that, towering over that short woman and just listen to her. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It was never yeah. It was never no. I ain't never yeah or gnawed no grown up ever. Mm-mm. No, sir. No, ma'am. It was yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm out in the public. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, no. If you want to, she ain't have a problem with knocking me out with that. And she didn't ball the fist and punch me in the mouth. She didn't slap me in the mouth. Oh, she didn't blooded these lips plenty of times. I remember when me and my brother started getting taller than my mom, and started smelling ourselves and feeling ourselves. She said, I don't care how big you are, how tall you may get, or how many muscles you may get. There will not be no disrespect. None. I yelled at my mom one time by mistake. No. Not as no teenager, not as no child. I can definitely tell you that. But as a grown up, and quickly, instantaneously, I was like, Mom, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry, Mom, I'm sorry. I had a reverence of respect for her. And kids, boys, men don't have enough respect for their mothers. You got to have a high reverence of respect. Even when my mother was wrong, I knew she was wrong, it was still yes, ma'am. And the quality of woman she was, she would call me up, and she'd say, baby, I said, yes, ma'am. She said, baby, I'm sorry. You know what my reply is? It's okay, you mama. And she said, you know how to make me cry. But my thing about it is just like we was raised. My mom had me and my brother in church at a young age. And we old school, honor thy mother and thy father so that your days will be longer upon this earth. And I remember having a conversation about my mom about 10 years ago about this. And I said, Mom, I think that's why I'm still here when I'm not supposed to be here, because how I honored you. She said, boy, you was listening in Sunday school, what? That thing resonated with me, to honor thy mother and thy father so your days shall be longer upon this earth. That carries some serious weight. That's a powerful message. So I always honored my mother, even when she was wrong, even in disagreeing with her. In my eyes, my mom was right. And I wasn't even a mama's boy, but I loved her to death. Loved her to death. I remember when my mom was working 2 jobs. I had to be about 5. And my grandma used to pick at me all the time. I don't know what apartments we was living in, man. I remember having my PJs on and being at the window. It'd be 11 o'clock at night. My grandma said, boy, your mom ain't coming home until the morning off that job. Go to sleep. I'm like, I want my mommy. I'm like, oh my. She was like, son, Sean, she's at work. Man, I would go back to that windowsill, and I would wake up and get in that windowsill, and I would see her parking the car in the apartment complex and walking up, and then I would go back. I would go to sleep. I love that woman, man. That woman was my everything, man. I remember when there was a time I got locked up and I was looking at 30 years. And I had lost everything, man. I lost my job. I lost everything. You know, you get locked up, man. You have a job, house, whatever, man. You losing that shit. You ain't got nobody back there watching your six. You losing all that. And I remember my mom, man, and my girlfriend at the time came and broke up with me when I was locked up through plexiglass. When she broke up with me, man, she was standing there trying to talk. I just like, God, man, let me send me back to myself, man. You know, she was Sean, like, what we got to talk about? You came and broke up with me. You just want me to sit here and just listen to whatever you got to say? You didn't broke up with me. What the hell we got to talk about? And I remember my mom came and visited me because I think I had visitations on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And I told my mom about it. And she said, you know what? I love you and Lynn. My brother gonna see this. He gonna be like, damn. My brother probably already know. He probably told her already. She said, y'all make bad choices in women. My mom used to tell me that religious. She said, I love you, but baby, you make bad choices with women. And she's right. I've made horrible choices in women throughout my years of living. Terrible choices. Knew it was a bad choice, but man, because it was all shiny on the outside, I had to have it. She said, baby, if all you see is what a woman looks like on the outside, you got a lot to learn about women. You know, when you in your 20s, I know me, when I was in my 20s and 30s, man, I'm like, man, I wasn't trying to hear none of that nonsense. She had to be bad. If she wasn't a dime, I'm like, if she wasn't a dime, she was on vampire time. And I had this saying with my best friends. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, man, I keep them babes who I can't be seen in the public on vampire time. Like, yep, you come at my house at night, you leave at night. ain't no daywalkers. You got to be a bad chick to be a daywalker for me to be walking around. I don't know. I was very shallow and vain and conceited. Because I'm like, man, I'm taking care of myself, man. I want a chick. That chick got to be bad. And my mom used to be like, Lee, when you going to bring somebody average for me to meet? I'm like, average? I'm like jacked up teeth and feet average? I'm like, no, never. And my mom she used to try not to laugh, but I think I'm funny. She used to try not to laugh, and I said, Mom, you know that's funny. You chuckling. And she would shake her head and smile like, boy, where did I go wrong with you? I said, Mom, you didn't go wrong. I'm just a man. And we used to have these conversations, man. And my mom was like, oh my God. When I told my mom I was in my 20s, and I say, look, Mom, we got a match. Me and that woman got a match. We got a match. No jacked up teeth, no bad breath, no toes bigger than the other, no ugly feet, no gorilla claws, eagle claws, no man hands, banana hands. I'm like, no, Mama, she got to be, no. I need pretty hands, pretty teeth, pretty face, pretty feet. And them toes bigger than the other, longer than the other. I'm like, what the hell they do? What's wrong with your feet? I was watching an episode of Mike Epps, man, and it brought back memories of how it was in my 20s. I don't know what city he was in, but he was walking across the stage, that shiny ass suit on. And he said, boy, y'all women get y'all hair done every day. Hair be whipped. Feet be fucked up though. Dun, dun, dun. He's like, man, he said, man, you walking to her, God, man, she bad. And look at her feet. Dun, dun, dun. The feet be all jacked up. That's true. It's bad. You know, it's bad enough when men have jacked up feet. When woman feet jacked up, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't know why is that? That shouldn't be. But I used to make jokes about it, with my mom. But I said, Mom, she gotta have pretty feet. I gotta look at them things, man. If she got on sandals, Mom, I gotta look at them feet. So she can't have jacked up feet. You know what I'm saying? Like Eddie Murphy from Boomerang. She had hammer time. She got hammer time in her shoes. David out of Grill, Martin Lawrence said, man, please, you have the sex little feet, man. That ain't what they said. They said, but I mean, I used to be, boy, I was so shallow. I didn't change. I didn't change so much as I got older. But I realized, my mom used to tell me all the time, Sean, she said, baby, it's not her looks that's going to treat you or love you or be there for you 24/7 or be there to support you. It's not her weight that's going to love you and be there for you and cook for you, whatever. It's the persona and the aura of her. And it's also her mind. The first time I ever heard anybody say that it's not the way the woman looks that's going to treat you right. It's how she thinks that's going to treat you right. That was my mother. And when you're young, for me, I couldn't comprehend that because I wasn't a deep thinker when I was younger. That deep thinking, empath stuff kind of came later in life. When I realized, man, I got a whole bunch of trophies on the case collecting dust, and none of them trophies did nothing for me. And then I started thinking, man, why not just have somebody average and just be treated well? Now you dating a hot chick, man. 9 times out of 10, bro, it's all about you taking care of them, paying this and paying that and paying this and paying. I'm like, man, fuck that. But my mom always taught me. My mom said, baby, if you got to lead from the pocket, if you start any relationship leading from the pocket, you gonna die leading from the pocket. And she said, what I mean, I don't mean that in the physical sense of death. I mean that relationship is going to get old for you because you say you're going to be constantly saying, all I do is buy love and affection. And she did tell me, she said, baby, you too good looking. You good looking dude like you ain't got to buy no woman. If you got to buy a woman, Sean, you don't need her ass. I heard that from my mom. She said, baby, never lead from the pocket. She said, weak men lead from the pocket because they ain't got no. She said, men who have no substance lead from the pocket because they ain't got nothing else. They ain't got no substance. She said, you too intelligent. You too smart. You got a beautiful mind, son. So why would you lead from the pocket? Because it's easy? No, son. If you leave from the pocket, as soon as something happens financially wise, you lose money or you lose your job or whatever, she's going to be on to the next. That has happened to me. Everything my mom warned me about has happened. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I've been in it. And every time it turned out the way that she told me it was going to turn out, that I never believed it would, it did. The first thing that came to my mind was her face, my mother's face. Boy, I told you. It was like a cartoon of her face. And she was just like, boy, I told you. She ain't been wrong about nothing from A to Z about a woman period. She is a sniper about that shit. That woman stuff, she's never been wrong. And I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've had conversations in it. I saw it from a mile away, still indulged in it. When it turned out, I'm like, God damn, I didn't play myself again. And they think, that woman actually think that she played me. I'm like, no, I played myself. I'll let the whole world know ain't a woman in the world has ever played me. Sean played Sean. So I can't even get mad at a woman when I didn't play my own damn self. I saw her hand months ago, last year. Saw it, blew it off. At the end of the day, when I would have these conversations after the fact of the situation, when it's resolved and it's over, she said, but baby, I gave you all the answers to the test. How you still out here failing? She was still on that couch next to me. She said, baby, and she put her hand on my leg. She said, baby, son, I gave you the answers to the test. How do you keep failing? What's wrong with you? I was like, Mom, no, man. She's like, Sean, you got to get how these women looking out your head. Because you can't see the forest from the trees from looking at ass, hips, and all that other stuff. She's like, you got to get that stuff out your head because you keep playing yourself. You know that woman ain't for you. You know that woman ain't for you. She don't match with you. Beyond, but Sean, but beyond the sex, you know you ain't gonna, you go. She's like, Sean, you get irritated and annoyed with women very quickly. You know why you get irritated and annoyed with women very quickly? Because they are not your match. They're not your ideal. So that's why you get annoyed, and that's why you be like, I'm done. And that's why you be having like 5, 6 women, on a roster. What you call it? You got a roster? Stables? The names you call stuff, Sean. My God. I said, Mom, I done told you too much. But my mom never judged us. She wasn't a judgmental person. My mom said, there's good in everybody. You just got to find the good. Everybody's got good. She used to see the good in everybody, even if they're a bad person. Yeah, that's just how my mom was. She was a person who believed in giving persons chances to redeem themselves, to show you that they've changed. And when they show you that they didn't, move quickly, exit stage left, move very quickly, because once you give a person a chance to show you, for them to show you that they've changed, and they show you that they're still the same, instantaneously. She's like, not tomorrow. The minute they show you, that's the minute you move. The minute they show you that they're still the same, you don't sit there and wallow in it. You get the hell up out of there. If she too needy, run. Is she selfish? Run. Is she judgmental? Really run. And my mother was the first person to tell me, she said, you know why relationships between men and women don't work? I said, why, Mom? She said, because they too busy judging each other. She said, the only thing that's going to work between a man and woman, there can't be no judgments. When there's no judgments, people can be their authentic, genuine selves. The minute you judge them, then they start to retract. They start to fall back. You got to push judgments out of so people can be themselves. So someone asked me, I was doing a podcast with Bree and Jess. These two jokers. They got a podcast called Men Ain't Shit. And I was like, The name struck me so, it was so funny. And I thought they was joking. She's like, no, what's the name of the podcast? You got two women, got a podcast called Man and Shit. Boy, them jokers. Bree and Jess are some funny individuals. They hilarious. So Bree had asked me, she was like, I can't remember because I was kind of high on that podcast. I was high. I ain't gonna lie. I was the end of the day. I needed to come and had a long day. I was high as hell on that podcast. But Bree had asked me. She said, what did she ask me? I think she said, what is the number one quality you look for in a woman? I want to say, yeah. I want to say, it had to be something like that. I can't remember. Shit, I was high, man. But I said, you know what, Bree? To be perfectly honest with you, a non-judgmental person. And see, a non-judgmental person, you really, that the dynamics of that relationship can really go far and it can really work. Reason being, because you can be yourself. And I told her, I said, I said, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I've ever had anyone that I could be 100% my authentic self with without no judgments from them. And Bree said, damn, that's so sad. I'm like, Bree, we live in a judgment. This world is judgmental as fuck. Everybody judging everybody. She's like, you know what? You're right. You're right. But when you find somebody that you can truly be yourself with, that means there's no judgments in the dynamic between the two. But guess what? That is very extremely rare in 2023. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. But when you can be your authentic, genuine self, that means that person is loving you naked. That means they are liking you naked. They're being around you naked. I'm not meaning in the physical sense. When I say they loving you naked, that means that they are there for you regardless. They ain't thinking about you. They ain't running background checks, doing dumb shit. Like they ain't all that crazy shit. They don't care about your past. They loving you for you. They're being there for you. Your mistakes, they still not judging you. They realize, here's the thing. People really think that people are perfect out here. People really think, based off how judgmental people are, judgmental people think people are perfect. People ain't got no past. People can't make no mistakes. We all fuck up. We all do dumb shit. So in the back of my mind, why am I going to judge you when I got a wretched, terrible, horrendous, horrible past? Baby, be yourself with me. I need you to be you. Because if you can't be you, you ain't never going to be comfortable with me. And if I can't be me, I'm never going to be comfortable with you. I'm never going to be able to have a candid, transparent conversation that I can share with you that later on you won't use against me. 98% of relationships I've ever been in, including marriages, every one of them motherfuckers have judged me. And I ain't never judged their punk ass. Because I was raised to be non-judgmental people. Now, to be a non-judgmental person. How many of your mothers and fathers has taught you not to be non-judgmental? I'll wait, because please don't lie, because I know y'all some lying asses, because the majority of the world judges. That was one of the most, my mom introducing me to God and my mom teaching me how to be, not to be non-judgmental, was the biggest gift she's ever given me. The biggest gifts. And I remember 5 years ago, before my mother died, I said, Mom, I remember coming to her house, and I said, Mom, I'm so exhausted. I said, I'm not physically exhausted, Mom, I'm mentally exhausted. She said, why, baby? I said, Mom, I feel like I got my own shit going on, but I feel like everybody comes to me about any problem, every problem they got. And she said, you know what? She said, you know how much a blessing that is? I was like, blessing? She said, because I taught you to be non-judgmental. That's why people come to you, Sean. because you don't look at them different. They'll come to you on a Monday, they'll see you tomorrow, and you will, and you can't even tell that they told you anything because you don't treat them differently. People are comfortable coming to you because you don't ever judge their ass, and they don't hear nothing that you say. Anything they tell you, they don't never hear it out there again from nobody because you don't move like that. She said, "Baby, you are rare. You are rare in this messed up world we live in this judgmental world we live in." And my mother was the first person to say, she's like, you know how judgmental our whole system. She said, America is such a big liar and hypocrite. I get that from her. She said, how a person go and they serve 20 years, 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, do they penance, right? Get out and can't even get a damn job. They get their rights taken away from them. Did they try to assassinate Congress or President of the United States? Why you gotta take their voters' right from them? What that got to do anything? They get so many things, and they can't get a job. They made a mistake. They've served their time. So you mean to tell me that person don't have a chance of redemption? Now they got to work some shitty ass job. Now they got a chance. Now they got to turn around and commit a crime and go back to what they used to, based off of because they can't make money to take care of their family. You see how hypocritical that is, son? That's when I really started to notice and really the hoodwink just came off my eyes, and I started seeing America for what it really is. A big, fat ass, hypocritical, judgmental liar. That's why I had to get to you got to get to the point. And my mom used to always tell me, she said, I don't want you to be followers of people. Followers are weak. They can't think for themselves. She says, have you ever been involved with somebody who can't think for themselves? And every move that y'all make as a couple, they worry about what everybody think, even down to what y'all put on. I'm like, oh yeah. She's like, Sean, those are weak people. You should be worrying about pressing each other, not the damn crowd. Why are you worrying about the damn crowd? If you looking good for the person you with, that's all that damn matters. Why are you worrying about everybody else? It's so many gems that woman taught me that I really look at within people. That's why I'll be like, nah, this ain't gonna work. It don't work because you're just the same like everybody else. Why do I want something that everybody can get? Why do I want somebody who just thinks like everybody else? You born. I'm gonna be tired of your ass in about another year anyway. I'm like, you just like everybody. Man, goddamn, this is I got crackers like I got these old saltine crackers just like everybody else got. Ain't nothing appealing unless it's different on purpose. There's nothing intriguing unless it's different on purpose. There's nothing attractive unless it's different on purpose. Yeah, baby, you fine. You got a big ass and tits and hips and all that shit. But babe, you talk and walk and act less like everybody else. You calling women, bruh. I mean, huh? You trendy, baby. I don't, nah. I got a 7-year-old daughter. You can't be with my daughter with that trendy shit. I want my daughter calling girls, bruh. What that look like? I want my daughter to be a lady. If I wanted her to, I want my daughter talking like no dude. Huh? What kind of example you set for my daughter? No, that ain't gonna work. You sophisticated lady. I want my daughter talking like no dude. Really? No, man. Make the bullshit make sense. But all I'm saying is my mother was a teacher of life. She was a teacher of love. She was a teacher of relationships. And I struggle so much without her because it's nice to have real conversations with people that you're not judged. And she was the most non-judgmental person. She's the first person that taught me about forgiveness. There have been times I'm so mad that I literally want to take people's life. And my mom have taught me out that ledge. People are alive today because of my mother. I put that on my mom and my dad's son. People are alive today because of Gwen. Yeah. People are alive today because of my mother. Mm-hmm. And they don't even know it. And that's the irony about it. And they walk around like thinking that they got, no, you only alive because Gwen talked me off of killing your ass. Mm-hmm. And see, when I don't have that go-to, when I'm feeling those things that I kind of feel as if it's tumultuous inside me, that I feel as if it's like a volcano erupting, I have to hit them knees, man. I have to. Because next to my mom, there was God, and next to God, there was my mom. My mom's gone, so I got to talk to him. Because if not, if I don't start the day off with talking to the big man upstairs, it's no telling what I would do that day. But yeah, there's a lot of people alive because of my mom. Mm-hmm. She was the one that taught me you have to forgive, and you forgive quickly. Don't sit on forgiving people. Don't sit on not giving people second chances. Don't sit on not allowing people a chance for redemption. Don't sit on that. Forgive. She said, forgive quickly and apologize even more quickly. She said, baby, it's bad to be with any woman who can't say she's sorry. A woman who can't apologize to you shows you that you don't mean shit to her. Fellas, let me retort this. This is for you fellas. Any woman who can't say she's sorry to you about her bullshit that she did to you, that means, fellas, she don't respect you and she don't give a shit about you. She never did. She pretended. That's a Gwen's gem. I've lived and experienced that. I've even had, which I'm not a simp moments where I've apologized just to keep the peace, and that heifer ain't never said she's sorry to me. And then after a while, I have to look at myself in the mirror, because that mirror is cold-blooded. And all my conclusions has always come early in the morning as I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. And I'm looking, and I'm like, what in the hell is you doing with this low-budget heifer? Why? She ain't even in your league, dude. She don't even deserve you, bro. The epiphanies always come when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. The epiphanies and me talking to myself in Gwen's voice. And it says, I raised you better. I raised you better than that heifer that you spending time with. That's exactly what her words would be. I raised you better than that heifer that you wasting time with. That manipulator of wasting your time. I raised you better. You've had way better than that. That's something that you would just hit and just keep it moving. You won't even try to build or establish nothing with that, because that ain't nothing for you. Because all that thing cares about is herself. Mm-hmm. That came straight out of Gwen's mouth. See, one thing what I loved about my mom, she was hard on women, man. She was hard. I watched my mom have a conversation in front of me with my woman that the woman started, and it said, well, since you brought it here, baby, since you in my house and you bring this conversation to my house, now you can piss down I heard my mom said this in front. She said, now you can piss down my son back because he's screwing you. But see, I ain't got no dog in your fight, and I'm a woman just like you. I was once your age, just like you are now. You need to come correct with me, baby, because I can smell our woman bullshit a mile away. She said, that's why y'all will talk to these men, but when it comes to talking to his mother, she call you out on your bullshit. Now you're doing a backstroke. See, I ain't got my mom that for now. My mom's not here, but she's still speaking to me. But my mom always tells me bullshit. She's always in the back of here. She's like, I know you see that. You pretending like you don't see that. But I know you see it. I raised you better than that. Weak men overlook stuff like that. I raised you better than that. It's time for you to get up out of that situation. That situation ain't going nowhere, son. Now, she talks to me still. But when it comes to women, she said, you got to be hard on their ass just like they hard on these men out here. Don't give them nothing, just like they ain't giving men nothing. She's like, you can't have no respect to a person just because she got a vagina, baby. She giving you talking that shit, you got to talk that right back. You get like, no. She said, no. She said, baby, if the relationship ain't built off reciprocation, you have no relationship. It's like the Three Little Pigs. Why build a whole relationship off of sticks and straw when I can build it slowly, brick by brick? So we got sticks and we got flimsy straw. Let's build that thing brick by brick. If you build the relationship brick by brick, it's going to sustain, it's going to last, it's going to weather any type of storm it goes that happens, that comes toward it. But if you building your foundation off of sticks and flimsy straw, how do you think that's going to work? It will never last. When you build it by brick, it can handle tough, uncomfortable conversations. It can be honest. It can be forthright. It can be selfless instead of selfish. It can be understanding. It can empathize and sympathize. When you're building it brick by brick, she ain't got that emasculating of men type attitude. When you're building it brick by brick, when she says she loves you, you can take it to the bank. It's never going to bounce on you. She's going to love you through the bullshit. She's going to love you through your mistakes. She's going to love you through your past. She ain't going to say, I love you, and then wake up one day, yes, sir, I can't do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. You know how they be doing that bullshit. Men do it too. And people talk a good love game till it comes down to actually show it. That's why, and she said, baby, you can't feel sorry. Don't feel sorry for them. When you see them again and then they got fucked over by other dudes, don't feel sorry for them. Remember how they did you. She said, baby, she said, no one is exempt of karma. Even if they think they justified in their bullshit. Even when you justified in getting some get back, oh, you got to pay for the get back. So my mom said, baby, make sure your side of the street is just clean. Don't do the retaliation. So if you go and get revenge for what they did to you, now you got to pay for that. If you just keep your street clean, she's like, hey, man. She said, son, karma gonna get them. Life is gonna get them. You gotta let life deal with them because they gonna get theirs. It just ain't caught them yet. She said, so you mean to tell me that you think God is gonna punish you for your wrong and they gonna punish these heifers? Oh, they getting theirs. It just ain't caught they monkey asses yet, but it's coming. It's coming. And when it comes, you may not see it, but when it comes, oh, it's coming. They just think they got away. You can't, my mom used to say, you can't build your happiness off of mistreating people. You can't build your happiness off a line and telling people I love you. Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. Now all of a sudden the next day it's different. You can't build your happiness out here playing games, plotting schemes, using people for money and whatever. Oh, you get yours, sis. Shit. Oh, sis, you getting all that smoke. I feel sorry for you. I feel your pain because I done been there. Oh, you finna go through some shit. You finna go through some shit. Sis, you is. It's inevitable, but it's going to happen. Oh yeah, the same thing you dished out, it's gonna come back to your gas, your monkey ass, ice cold. Oh yeah, and guess what? That dude that you dogged out, he gonna keep thriving. Oh, he gonna keep thriving. You know why? He gonna keep thriving because he didn't retaliate against your little punk ass, and he could have. He could have did some, boy, he could have done some devilish shit against you, but he chose not to. He just walked away from the situation. It's best to just walk away and not try to seek revenge and all that. Because when you seek revenge and try to get back, now you are in the double jeopardy mode. You finna get that shit, man. So I'm like, no, let me cry through these tears and not eat for a couple of weeks. I want that get back, but I'm just not gonna do it. The epitome of a mother is to teach her kids about life. To teach her children about life. And that's one thing Gwen taught me. She taught me a lot about life. She taught me a lot about life. And she said, no matter what, don't ever stop falling on those knees. Don't ever stop praying. Don't ever stop reading your Bible. Don't ever stop believing. Because people are going to let you down over and over and over again. But the big man upstairs, he ain't going to let you down. Even when you think that he forgot, he ain't letting you down. He always going to come right in the nick of time. But baby, keep your side of the street clean. When people think they know this or know that about you, let them judge you. Let them misunderstand you. When people walk away and, oh, I never leave you, blah, blah, blah. You know, she said, baby, they all sing the same song and dance. And as soon as hard shit starts happening, as soon as you make some mistakes, be out the door. Babe, that's how you don't want no foundations on stick or straw. Anyway, why would you want to why are you fighting with somebody? Why would you want to be with somebody who don't want you? Why do y'all chase, fellas, why do you chase women that don't want you? My mom taught me the difference. She said, baby, there's a difference between chasing and pursuing. When you chasing somebody, they running away from you for a reason. They running away from you because you chasing them. She said, baby, the most powerful thing you got, and you don't even realize it, the most powerful thing you got as a man is your attention. Take your attention away. These heifers, long, thirsty, thrive off attention. Everything they do, majority of them is based off attention. When social media, my mom told me one day, go on social media. Just go on social media. Look at all of them doing stuff for attention. I could go on social media right now and be like, God damn, that woman, she was right in life and even more righter in death. She said, baby, you don't want no attention whore anyway. That's the last woman you want. Because if she needs attention from all these people, your attention ain't gonna be enough. Damn! When she hit me with that thing hurt. I felt it from the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. She said, baby, when she want attention from everybody, she said everything she do, her motive is attention. She gonna lie and say, oh, I'm doing this for me. No, heifer, you doing it to get cat calls, attention, younger dudes, this dude, that dude. She's doing it for attention. And then cry when she getting the wrong attention. Well, if you're an attention whore is attached to attention, you're going to get what whores get. They get the wrong attention. Sophisticated ladies don't get wrong attention because they don't do attention whore shit. And when you're not doing attention whore shit, you ain't got to worry about the wrong attention. But when you're doing attention whore shit, oh, you're going to get the wrong attention all day. People are fighting, oh, I got to get my body snatched and this and this and that. Who are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for again? She said, babe, my mom used to say, baby, these women out here ain't going to be honest with you. She said, baby, we the best liars on the planet. She said, what? She said, baby, didn't I school you on Proverbs 5:6? The ways of a woman are unknown. Her moves are ever changing. When I remember she had me stuck, I went through this bad breakup. I was sick. I was like, and my mom was like, baby, go read Proverbs. I want you to read the whole Proverbs of chapter 5. Just read the whole thing. She said, there's a part in Proverbs that says the ways of a woman are unknown and her moves are always changing. When I read, and I've read it before, but when it really sunk in, I just kept reading it. That whole statement, no lie, scared the hell out of me when it came to women. And then I said, Mama, that's a scary statement. She said, yeah, it need to be. Now, it resonates something, but you've read it before, right? I said, yeah. She said, you ain't paying no attention to this. I said, no, ma'am. She said, but now you're older. You get it. You comprehend it more. You start reliving everything that you've been through. She said, baby, if I was you, and that's exactly how she said. She said, baby, if I was you, that statement right there would be right there in my forehead every day. It moved me so much, and I felt it so much that I got it tattooed on my right arm right now, straight down there. So I never get comfortable. So I never forget. So I never get too caught up. So I never, ever, ever suppress it. She said, baby, if I was a man and I read that, say her moves are ever changing. She always. So you don't know what was, you never know what is what. One day it could be this, next day it's going to be that. When you live that, one day this, one day, I'm like, God damn. That Proverbs is a mother. You hear me? That Proverbs is something else. Yeah, it's tattooed on my arm, man. I had to get it because I ain't never want to get comfortable. I never want to forget. I'll sit there and listen all day. In my mind, I'm like, Heifer, you think I believe that shit? I'm saying it in my mind. You really think I believe that shit? And none of them don't even know. I got Proverbs 5:6 right down. Right down there. Like I said, ain't nobody ever played Sean Patrick Taylor but Sean Patrick Taylor himself. Too smart, too intelligent. Know all the answers to the test. Mom didn't school me to the women game. But I did it to myself. So I blame me at the end of the day. But she was the epitome of a good mother because she schooled me on life. She wasn't just a mom she was just out there just constantly buying me shit. And I love that about her. Now, when I was younger, did I want this? Did I want the Atari? Did I want this? Did I want the Nintendo? Yeah, I wanted all that stuff. Mom didn't do that. But she gave me the best gift. She introduced me to God and she taught me about life. So now when things happen, I don't get shocked. I'm mad. Now, when my mother died in December 2018. We're in 2023 now. It's almost like 5 years. Damn. Don't seem like 5 years just went by that fast. But when my mother died December 2018. My uncle died in March of 2019. Auntie Deborah died in December of 2019. Lil Sean, my son, died in November 2021. That's a lot of death in a short time period, man. But when I realized that those pivotal people that died, when my mom died first, I realized that time is a commodity that we can't get back. When I feel as if my time has been wasted, I get pissed off for that. Not that I knew that that heifer wasn't about shit, but I wasted my time. When I already saw the signs that she wasn't about nothing. I get mad that I wasted my time. I get mad that I invested money. I get mad that I invested time. I get mad that I invested conversation. I get mad that I invested emotions. Because you can't get that fucking time back. If I've lost time with my sons or my son or my daughters, if I lost time with them, I can't get that damn time back. And when I think about time that I can't get back, it just makes me more, it puts me in an angry place. It puts me in a place that I want to just fuck somebody up because I can't get that time back. I cannot get that time back. And I don't like people when they waste time. I don't like anybody wasting time in business. There's times I've had a conversation with dud-ass people who fuck you over for money. And back in the day, I probably would have been at their house and be like, you know what? I guess I'm going to take this money out your ass now since you want to play with me. I'm not that dude no more. But I wasted time with this tired-ass individual who had no commitment to their own selves. A person who can't commit to their own selves ain't shit, definitely in no way. You can't even commit to your own self. So if you can't commit to your own self, you can't commit to nobody. But when you waste time, a precious, the most valuable commodity. See, time has to do with you breathing also as well. Time has to do with you being alive. Time is the most precious commodity, the most valuable thing we have as individual men and women walking this earth. It's time. You cannot get that back. And when I've lost time, boy, you talking about something pissing somebody off? That's enough to be like, I just shut it down. Like, I don't give a damn if I ever speak or see your dud ass ever again. Because you just waste time on purpose. People who waste time with people ain't shit. That's my opinion, and that's just how I feel about it. Because they know they wasting time. They know premeditatedly they wasting your time. They know that. They know that. We didn't have to go there on no scale, ma'am. Wasting time. And that's why I tell dudes, I told a young dude now, man, don't you invest nothing financially in nobody out here. Don't you do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Because you waste your resources, that heifer gonna be on the next train smoking. Telling the next guy the same old bullshit shit. Lying to his ass. My mom taught me that. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it, young man. Do not fall for that. Do not fall for it. You working? Well, tough on you. Do your own shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll take care of my wife. I'm taking care of you for it. You go to work just like I do. Do you? No. That thing really need to be, it's got to be going somewhere. It has to be going someplace for me to invest my hard-earned money that I work hard for. And they ain't contributing to shit in my life. Huh? No. Been there, done that, never do it again. but the relationship has to be going in the right direction. It's got to be a long game. It's got to be a long game. It's just a short game. No, tough on you. No, no, ma'am. No. Sorry. Better go to work and earn it. Because when you didn't been through that, you know, at some point, you got to stop playing big dummy in your life. And my mom used to say, Sean, just don't be dumb, son. Because you know. When you know and do it, it hurts 10 times worse. Because you know. You already know. And you're going to do it anyway? That doesn't make any sense. But I miss my mother on Mother's Day, man. She was a God-fearing woman. She was educated, beautiful, funny, affectionate, loving. She didn't do handshakes. She did hugs. She was just an amazing woman, man. And I tell anybody, you still got your mother, you're blessed. And I've talked to people who still got their mothers. And you know the irony behind these conversations is that they act so nonchalant about it. If the dynamic of your relationship with your mother isn't where it needs to be, then put it where the hell it needs to be. Because you're going to be the same dud-ass person when she's dead and gone. Your ass is going to be going through it. But if you got somebody sitting across from you and you seen what they're going through emotionally, mentally about their own mother, and they're telling you, do not take her for granted. Be there for her. Honor her. Just don't honor her on that weak-ass Mother's Day. Honor her every week. Honor her every month. Honor her every year. Because there's things that she's done for you growing up as a child that you have forgotten about, that you have suppressed. If you still have your mother alive, breathing, March 12th, 2023, honor your mother. Spend some time with her. Go to the house and just have some conversations. Take her to lunch, take her to dinner, take her to the mall, take her to the movies. Do something that she likes to do, but honor her, because once she gone, baby, let me tell you something. You think you may be tough now. Let me tell you something. Death changes you. It is no game. She ain't coming back. Once your mom leaves, she ain't coming back. And you have to live with that pain every single day. The last damn conversation I had with my mother, I was fussing to her about something. She had got out of the hospital and she was like, my mom was very particular and I had a lot of stuff going on. I think I had to fly out back to Houston, my second location. I had to fly out to Houston the next day or something like that. And I was trying to get this and that together and this and that. And I was tired. I was frustrated. I was hungry. And I was like, I'm the one that's here that's helping you right now. Me. Nobody's helping you. It's me. I'm here. And I caught myself and I said, Mom, I'm so sorry. And you know what she said to me? She said, baby, it's okay. In her soft voice, she said, baby, it's okay. And I went and hugged her. I said, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I said, Mom, I'm stressed, whatever. I said, Mom, it's no excuse. That was the last conversation I had with her. I flew to Houston. I ended up getting sick with the flu 2 days later. One of my best friends had called me and said, Sean, man, your mom not doing well. I said, man, I just saw my mom a couple of days ago. I said, man, where my brother at, man? I said, man, what are you talking about? I just saw my mom. And then my brother had called because when I was coming in, when I was getting ready to leave, Lynn was flying from Fort Worth, Texas to come there to see her. And then when my brother called me, and he's like, man, Mom, she took a turn for the worse. I'm sick as a dog. Had 100-something degrees. I said, Lynn, what are you talking about? I just saw mom 2 days ago. What are you talking about? He was like, man, she in hospice. And I didn't know nothing about hospice. Didn't know what it was. Found out about hospice. Had some friends tell me what it was and what it meant. And I was like, I was so in disbelief that things could change just that quickly. Can be life changing in your life just that quickly. The next day, I got on a flight. The next day, I got in late. By the time I got to hospice, it was almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Flight got delayed and everything. It was the worst flight. It was the worst flight ever. I think because I just had so much in my mind, and I was thinking about the things I wanted to say. And when I got to hospice, she pretty much was incapacitated. And she was just out of it. All you hear was just moans and they give them stuff to make them feel comfortable, but they pretty much at death's door. And all that ran through my mind was the last conversation. I couldn't tell her how much she meant to me. The sacrifices and everybody had turned their back on me, even the woman that supposedly loved me. And I was looking at 30 years. And the only person that was there was Gwen, was my mom. There have been so many times in my life that people turned their back, and the only person when I looked up, it was mom. It was always mom. So when I lost her, it fucked me up. I'm still trying to get back to half the man I was prior to that. But I don't never think I'll be him again. Me and my brother have had talks that what we thought was important, it's not as important no more. I took time for granted so much to why now I take time very seriously. To where if my time is tampered with in any type of way, I'm pissed the fuck off. I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. I don't care how you feel about it. But that's how I take it, because I know time can take, things can change within an hour that'll be life changing. Death changes you. And a lot of y'all be acting like, oh, whatever. That's how you live your life. If that's how you live your life, that shit don't mean nothing to you. To each his own. But I love the hell out of my mom. Sorry that your relationship may have been fucked up with yours, but I love the hell out of mine. And was it always perfect? No. It wasn't. But she was always my constant go-to. I knew she loved it. I knew she was one person who wouldn't betray me, wouldn't turn her back on me. She was one woman I knew in this whole entire world I could really fully trust. No matter how much I messed up, no matter how much I fucked up, she told me about my ass. She told me off, but she still loved me the same. She told me off, but she never judged me. She told me off, but she never abandoned me. She told me off, but she never turned her back on me. I ain't never met a woman who did that in my freaking life, ever, but my mother. I ain't never had that shit on a woman. Don't even know what the fuck that shit feels like. So when people be talking that rah-rah shit about women this, women that, you know what? Until I'm fucking proven wrong, I ain't never had that shit. I don't know what it feels like. The only woman who has stuck by me 10 toes down has been my fucking mother. And so she's no longer here. So a brother walk around here like in the land of the lost and shit. People around you be still feeling lonely as fuck. Still ain't found my groove yet. Still ain't found my footing yet. Every day it's just, every day in my life, I'm making miracles out of bullshit to still try to make it from Monday to Sunday. You can think what you want. You can feel how you want. Let me tell you something. You ain't even going to be able to acknowledge or recognize or even understand what this shit feels like until you go through it. It's inevitable. That shit happening. But when it happens and you need somebody to talk to who understands what you're going through, I got you. Because I know you're going to be going through it. Your ass is going to be, even if the relationship was fucked up, you're going to go through it. It was the person who carried you 9 months. It is damn near impossible for you not to go through it unless you are cold, black-hearted ass. You're going to go through something when you lose your mom. Tell my son all the time, man, don't ever take me for granted. I tell my son, I ain't always going to be here. And I said, the day that I die, oh, it's going to fuck you up. That's exactly what I said to him. Never take your parents for granted. Period. And it's something I know I struggle with, and I damn near know my brother struggle with. But my brother, he cool and calm with his shit. But that's my brother. That's somebody we both are joined to the hip with this woman all our damn lives. He just as fucked up as I am. And that shit don't get easy. You just learn how to figure out ways to how to adapt with it. And I've had dumbass people in my life that don't even understand the dynamics of that shit. And they still think you that same person from December 2018. I'm a whole different motherfucker. I'm not the same dude. What is it that your dumbass can't get? People think that you're the same person. They think you think the same and you view things the same and you got the same perspective as you had prior to your mom. I ain't never been the same Negro since she died. Never. And I probably never will. To lose a mother that great, to lose a mother who put her life on the line for us, to lose a mother not gonna get all into that. But that woman has put her life on the line for us. Risked her life to get away from a man who was trying to kill her in the middle of the night while we were sleeping. Found this out when she passed away. The stuff she's went through. And so when my mom had that instance with this guy that she was, shit, I think they were married. I think I beat the hell. Yeah, they was married. I fucked up her husband. I did. And you guys may think I was wrong for beating up her husband. But at the end of the day, that was my mom. When you put your hands on a woman, you fucked up by putting the hands on my mother. And I took out everything I couldn't take out when I was little, when she was getting abused, that I couldn't do nothing about. I took out everything on his ass that day. I almost killed that dude. With ease. Bathroom was bloodied. Beat the hell out of that dude, man. And then got in his ear and said, you know what? I dare you to press charges. Because I'm going to get out and I'm going to fuck you up again. Don't you ever fucking put your hands on my mom. Dude, I will fucking kill you. This is exactly what I said. My mom was so mad at me, she didn't speak to me for a couple of weeks. And after she cooled down, and I said, Mom, I love you, but I done seen you go through too much stuff as a child that I couldn't do nothing to protect you. I can protect you now. I can protect you now. He was crazy enough to put his hands on you. He didn't forget who I guess she's like, Sean, he don't know nothing about your background, know nothing about you. I say, he don't now. I told him, if you even look at her the wrong way, nigga, I will take your life and anybody you love's life. And I meant that. I meant that on my mom and my son. I meant that. That was my mom, man. I was protective. I'm protective over those things that I love. I will lame over what I love. I will maim, I will destroy, I will kill, I will do anything over the things that I love. That's just me, man. I love hard, I love passionately. That's just me. But if you got your mother, you need to be honoring it and appreciating her and never taking her love for granted. Mothers are beautiful things, man. I ain't talking about the piece of I'm not talking about the piece of shit mothers. I'm not talking to mothers who use their kids as pawn mothers. I'm not talking about the mothers who just be trying to, oh, you can't see your kid because you lost your job and you can't pay child support. I ain't talking about them. I'm not talking about the deadbeat moms. I'm talking about the mothers of substance. I'm talking about the mothers who don't move all the way across the goddamn country to then expect for the father to have a damn relationship with the kid. I'm talking about these selfless mothers. I'm talking about the real women out there. I ain't talking about y'all fugazi, dud ass, selfish ass, deadbeat moms who be fucking up a man's life because he don't want your punk ass no more, but you got to make his life hell. I ain't talking about y'all lying ass mothers who be telling half the story, but not telling the full story. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the real mothers, the real women. Those are the women I wish Happy Mother's Day to. The women who do the right thing despite how they feel. Those mothers. I ain't talking about y'all. Sorry, this ain't for everybody. It is for the real mothers. The real mothers I know, who I know personally that stayed in the same damn state because they put the needs of their kid first. Those mothers. I'm talking about them. The real mothers who never, ever put their needs in front of their kids. I'm talking about them. I'm talking about the mothers who never, never, never talk bad about the father in front of the kids. I'm talking about that mother. The mother who makes that kid be respectful to that father, even though he a piece of shit. I'm talking about that mother. See, those are the real women. Those are the classy women. Those are the sophisticated women. Those are the women of virtue. Those are the virtuous women. Those are the women of substance. I ain't talking about all y'all. Some of y'all ain't nothing past your fucking appearance. You ain't got shit of substance. Past your appearance, god damn. Past your appearance, you about as boring as listening to Joe Biden speak. There's nothing past your appearance. I ain't talking about you nothing past your appearance, women. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking, this is for the women of substance. This is for the women who sees the importance that, you know what, I didn't make this kid by myself. I'm talking about the real mothers. I applaud and salute all real mothers on Mother's Day. And my mother was that woman. She was. But if you got your mother now, if you lost your mom tomorrow, and if you're watching this podcast, if you lost your mom tomorrow, trust me, if you think that's not going to mess with your head, You can talk that, oh, she's in a better place, that, you know, all that, you know, it's the platitudes. They be telling everybody whatever, whatever, whatever. Newsflash: when people lose their mothers, they don't want to hear your platitude type shit. They don't. Just shut up. Say something that makes common sense and just move the fuck on. Don't be telling them they're in a better place. And I don't want to hear none of that shit. I still wish she was here. That's me. That's my mom's. And yeah, I struggle with my shit. I don't give a fuck who don't care about, who don't understand it. I give a fuck about what y'all people think. Y'all, yeah, you really don't know. You really don't get. I really don't give a fuck what y'all think by now. I really don't. A man who loves his mother, that's a special kind of dude. Telling you. Telling you. When you lose your mother, and you're going to lose her at some point, and if you need somebody to talk to, need somebody to understand what you're going through, how you're feeling, how upside down your emotions is, holler at me. I'll sit there and listen to you cry, listen to you vent. And when you ask me how you're doing it, I will tell you my story from beginning to end. Every day how I deal with it. I have some days I don't even want to talk to people. I have some days I don't even want to get out of bed. I have some days I don't even want to be fucked up with nobody. I go through that. I lost my mom. I lost my son. I wasted time being angry with that situation. I lost my Auntie Deborah, who everybody who knows me knows that Auntie Deborah was like my second mother. Anybody who really knows Sean Patrick Taylor knows Auntie Deborah was a permanent fixture in my life. I was glued to her hips since she was 16 years old. Anybody that knows Sean Taylor knows that Auntie Deborah, she was damn near like his mother. And I was holding on to her with a tight vice grip. I remember being in that Baptist hospital, looking out that window, and she was sitting in the chair trying to eat something, but she didn't have an appetite. I'm looking out the window, and she said, nephew, son, what's going on? What's going on? I said, I have lost my mom. I cannot lose you too. I have lost uncle. I cannot lose you too. I lost Uncle Junior. I can't lose you too. Boy, I ain't going nowhere. I promise you I'm not going nowhere. 2 days later, she gone. I was done after that. I was done. It felt like I've lost two mothers. I was done. And my Auntie Deborah she was everything, man. The conversations I had with my mom, I've had just as deeper conversations with my Auntie Deborah. I had so many conversations about my Auntie Deborah since I was a teenager, even about girls. She would sit there and laugh and whatever. I would ask her ideas about buying this, about my Auntie Deborah, what do you think about this next? What do you think about this gift or whatever? See, y'all don't understand my plight. You don't get it. And then I lost my son in November 2021. I didn't even know how to feel at that point. And I really don't think I've even properly grieved over none of them. Because I went right back to work, went back. Again, making miracles out of bullshit with my whole feelings, emotions, my mental psyche, everything. That's why I'm still seeing a therapist. Been seeing a therapist since 2019. Because I'm still working this shit out, man. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about what seeing a therapist or going to therapy, because there's a lot of motherfuckers out here that need to go to therapy that need it. And they walk around talking about, oh, I got my shit together. Your head so fucked up. You can tell a person's mental is fucked up just by dealing with them in conversation. They flip. They got this and that. They got that. You just as fucked up as me. and you ain't doing shit about it. You doing some bullshit. That shit ain't working because this ain't changing. If you have your mother, please honor her. Don't take her love. Don't take her being here for granted. Because I'm telling you, when she leaves, you're going to feel everything I've been talking about. Trust me. Word is bond on that. That death shit is a different type of shit. And I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. But that death shit, is different. I used to think my mom and Auntie Deborah and like they just were superheroes. They never gonna die. I always thought I was gonna die before any of them died because of the reckless, careless life I was living. My mother was the epitome of a mother, man. She was all that in a bag, and she was just everything, man. She was just, I, anything I went through, and I talked to her about it, even if it's on the phone, she always put me back at center. I don't have that. I be off center damn near every other day, and people don't even know it. I be off center every day, spaced the fuck out pretty much every other day. But I can't give up because Gwen raised me to be a fighter. When times get hard, she said, that's when you dig deeper. You don't give up. When times get hard, you go harder. When times get hard, you go harder. When times get hard, you go harder. I may bury myself in work and all that other shit. I work out, I go to church, I be with my kid. That's what I do. I can't even make up that lie. I mean, that's what I do. I don't go out. I don't want to be out and about. I don't want to be, I didn't live the life of 10 different men in 10 different lifetimes, man. There ain't shit out here, especially in Waxonville, Florida. There ain't nothing out here in this boring ass town that interests me. And I've been all over the world. Where is this town going to interest me? Hey, man, I work out, I go to church, I feed my kids, that's it. Go to the movies. Ain't nothing I'm doing in this town. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be out of town. I'm just being honest with you guys. The only reason I'm here is because my brother begged me to keep the business going in honor of mom because she was so proud of it. It's the only reason I'm here. And that's just real talk. If you still have your mother, man, please don't take her for granted at all. Don't take advantage of her at all. If she's asking you to spend time, spend time. There was times my mom called me and said, baby, I just want to see you. I just want to see you. I said, Mom, I'm so busy, so busy chasing a dollar. So busy trying to chase a dollar. So busy trying to run 2 locations. So busy trying to do this. So busy trying to do that. So busy wanting to do. As one time I wanted to have 4 locations. I ain't even got that. I don't even care about no fucking 4 locations, man. Nah. I would do anything to have my mom back, my son back, my Uncle Junior back, my Auntie Deborah. I would do anything to have them back. Anything. They ain't coming back. So that's why you do not waste time. If something went wrong, fix it. If you need to apologize, say you're sorry. If you need to forgive somebody, forgive them. If you need to have an uncomfortable conversation so y'all can get things back on track, do that. But don't ever take nobody for granted, man. When you start taking people for granted, just like I said earlier, perpetual things still to happen and things start to end. And then once that person goes, they're gone. And then you have to live with that shit. And it like forever haunts you. You got the woulda, coulda, shouldas in your head constantly, daily. And y'all don't understand the seriousness of that because you're too damn selfish. All you do is think about your damn self and then expect something good to happen for you. That Gwen was the epitome of a mother, man. She was a real woman. She was the realest of the real. And I miss her, man. I miss her so fucking much. I wish she could see how beautiful her granddaughter is, or how tall her grandson got. You still got your mother, man. Just call up and just tell her you love her. When you lose people that you really love, man, it changes you. It does. You never look at life the way you used to look at it prior to that. I never have looked at life like I used to prior to my mom died. I don't even look at life like that. I want to fight more. I want to love harder. I don't want to give up. I want to keep people who I'm familiar with. I want to keep them close. Shit happens, man. People drift apart. People start moving from the style based off shit that I've done or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. But what can you do? Anyway, man, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day early. Happy early Mother's Day to all the real mothers out there. I'll put it like that. I think I've spoken enough on my feelings on the women who are the opposite of a real mother. Don't have to keep rehashing that bullshit. So listen, y'all stay up, man. But like I say, I'll start judging people like I'm perfect. I'll start judging people once I'm perfect too. But since I'm in no danger of ever becoming perfect, you never have to worry about this brother ever judging you. I went a little bit long. It was my mom. I knew it was gonna be long. Some people ain't gonna look at 2 hours of this shit. I get it, but I just had to do something in honor of her, just to talk about her and just reminisce on things that I'm always reminiscing about. Mother's Day is always a challenge for me. I struggle with it. I think about her more on Mother's Day weekend and the week of Mother's Day than anything else. I mean, my mind is just fixated on her because I think about things of childhood. I think about things. There was one time I remember my brother was like, "Man, what you thought was going? You think she gonna find you? You think she gonna know?" So there was this thing. I was in elementary school. I had to be in about 5th grade, and I lit this thing. And she had this, I don't know, it was weird, like ornament, but it was weird. But I lit it, and the heat took it on fire, and then I was like, "Oh!" I dumped it out. Dumped it all out. It's all in the carpet. And what I do, I run my ass up to the video arcade game place. In 5th grade, there was no cell phones out back then. Maybe there was, but shit. I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, there was no cell phones back out then. So I'm up there playing video games. My friend, man, I looked up. She right there. Oh, she whooped my ass. And I remember my mom whooped me so bad one time I had to sit up. I was standing up. My mom was dating this drummer, and me and Lynn, we talked about. She was dating this drummer, and I think his name was John. And he left his drumsticks at the house, and I had forged her name on a note. And I think I was in 4th grade. And she, first of all, before she beat me with them drums, she looked at the note. She's like, and my mom had always had a sense of humor. She looked at the note. She's like, you know what? I gotta laugh. And she laughed. She's like, I gotta laugh at this because you damn, it looked like my handwriting. So you did a good job. But I'm gonna whoop your behind. She chuckled, she laughed, she beat me with them drumsticks. I had to stand up at my desk for a whole week. Every Monday, that whole Monday through Friday, I had to stand up. My teacher say, "Mr. Taylor, can you sit down?" I said, "I can't sit down." She's like, "Why can't you sit down?" I said, "Because my butt hurt." You know what? I don't like the way that kind of sound. That kind of came out. I really don't like the way. I was in fourth grade. Y'all know what I meant. So she, I mean, but I'm grateful for them those beatings, those spankings. I mean, yeah, I just miss them, man. But anyway, man, I gotta go, man. It's just a little bit long. Y'all stay up, man, and eat to live this weekend. Don't live to eat, man. Money's come around the corner, man. Love on those that love on you. Appreciate those who value you and see your worth. And man, if you got something wrong with somebody, man, just get out there and straighten it out, man. That person may be gone tomorrow, and you have to live with the regret of not rectifying the issue. I'll catch you guys on the flip. Peace.